There we go. Good morning to everybody. I'm Amalia de Pombo. I'm the Colombian Ministry of Culture's Arts Director, and I'm very, very proud to be in today's live session during the Paris Peace Forum with this amazing project that's part of one of our most important political, cultural political um, uh, events and strategies for the past more than 15 years. So we're talking about our Colombian music plan for coexistence. It was organized and created in 2003. So it has a long, long history of advances and great experiences that we would love to share with other countries around the world. This plan is in search of various strategies and goals. It was implemented through the whole national territory. And as you might have known, many of you don't, the Ministry of Culture in Colombia was created in 1997. So this is a plan that was created a couple of years later, and it's been holding on its strength ever since then. So what are the aims of our National Plan of Music for Coexistence? Basically, they are to guarantee access to music education all around our country and to preserve our national musics. Colombia is a biodiverse and multicultural diverse country, so we're focusing on guaranteeing that all our music around the country is preserved and underlined as important all around the country and the world. Also to strengthen music development across our national territory, implement processes that build up skills in professional musicians, and promote practice and people's love for music all around our country. How is it's structured? This might be important for some of the people who are watching. We have 7 pillars to this plan. One is management. What do we mean by management? We give both musical teachers and musical schools strategies to manage their schools and be able to support both their students and give possibilities of employment to various staff and musical teachers all around the country. We do a big effort on professionalizing professors and musical professors around the country. There's a big effort on endowment of musical instruments. We have found various ways to support this endowment, which is very expensive, of course. We have one area of our musical practice that's focused on symphonic band equipment. So those instruments, for our case in Colombia, are generally imported. So it's quite an important financial structure that we have to look upon. And then there's also our traditional music ensembles, which we are now proving to be, with the help of another of our ministry's areas, which is our heritage and patrimony direction. We have an important array of schools that preserve national métiers, like the construction of musical instruments. So we're now working on a project, a special project that will be able, during this very complicated situation of the coronavirus, be able to reactivate the economic sector that's related with the musical practice through the possibility of these people in different territories of our country to build instruments and musical instruments for our music schools all around the country. There's also a whole array of involvement in cooperation, international cooperation, and also the publishing of music materials that will be going to our schools. When this program started in 2003, we found out that many of our schools we're teaching music through scores that came from other countries, from other cultures. And we found it really, really important to be able to strengthen our own music. We have an amazing array of music all around our country that's really very different. The Pacific music is really different from the music from the Orinoquia and the Llanos. That's the region that we share with Venezuela. The music in our south is very different from the music in the Caribbean coast. So there's a big strengthening of these materials that go into schools so that we can guarantee that we keep our cultural heritage alive. There's a huge array and an important information activity. We have a big information platform called CIMUS, which you can actually get into and find information around our whole music system in Colombia. And we do still, of course, hope that there's a ongoing research around Colombian music and practice. There's also a big effort on creation. We also hold both stimuli on creation through our national open stimulus convocatoria. I forgot the word for convocatoria. I will find it in a couple of seconds. And we all are always looking for people to keep creating Colombian music all around their country. And then there's also a big important, of course, issue that's now not working as well because of the COVID, that's around circulation of people of different countries, of around the country, traveling with their music to other regions of the country. Colombia is a big country that is mostly divided by a huge mountain range that makes it very difficult for people from the Orinoquia to, for example, make possibilities of interviewing or exchanging musical expressions with people from the Pacific coast or from the Caribbean coast. So this is a very important part of our process at the plan. As you see here, we have an important a picture of our country. The plan has been implemented almost everywhere in our Colombian territory. Today, the plan has presence in 31 of our 32 departments. 749 schools are operating in general, although during the COVID, only 410 are actually operating as a whole. The Ministry of Culture has been very, very active, guaranteeing with the local authorities for teachers to still be employed and for the programs to hold on their program and keep teaching children and youth all around our country. Actually, many very important and very interesting events have been created that are virtual and that you can actually get a hold of them. They've been, of course, distributed as it's now the formality through our virtual accounts around the Ministry of Culture, the Programa Nacional de Música, and of course, we will give you all this information if you're interested in those videos and those images. So in a whole, 94.46% of the whole municipalities in our country have actually a music school in their territory. So what are we doing now during this government? We are hoping to amplify and strengthen the amount of people benefited by this program. Today, we are in 158,000 people are now benefiting from the program, and we hope to close this government in 2022 with 200,000 people benefiting from the program. Currently, 51% of the people that are part of our program are girls and women. 82% are very young children, adolescents, and young people, and 6.3% of our communities are ethnic. They come either for Afro descendants, indigenous communities, so and so on. We have an important, this is very important to talk about. As you might know, Colombia has undergone an important internal conflict for a very long time that has a whole array of variables, problems related to the drug, illegal drug system, our internal conflict, so on and so forth. And we have 170 municipalities that have been, that we are focusing on just to allow the whole government to pay special attention and give special attention to those communities. There are 170 municipalities, and at the time being, we are looking at 142 who are now under the program. So we're still, of course, looking for international cooperation and other possibilities for us to be able to comply and have the whole of these areas with the program. This is another also important information. When you look at the map of Colombia, I'm just going to go back a couple of slides. As you look at this map, you see the departments that are in pink are the departments that are on the Caribbean region. They will be next to our Caribbean Ocean. The departments on purple, they are next to the Pacific Ocean. The departments on the blue are the countries that we share with Venezuela, and the departments down on the south of the country that are yellow, that's the Amazon border, that will be Peru and Ecuador. So we have many countries that are our neighbors, and we have many musical schools in those departments. So what we're actually doing is that part of our program is actually benefiting many of our neighbors. Today we have 77 border municipalities where we have 73 music schools. So for the case, for example, of Venezuela, which is very well known around the world, these schools have actually taken in many Venezuelan children, and we're working. It's an amazing way to work with our neighboring countries to learn about their profound cultural differences and our great brotherhood that we have in Colombia with our neighboring countries. So why is a plan like the Colombian plan for music for coexistence so important? What have we found? What are the effects of it around our country? So for the first thing, we have ensured that it enables to prevent forced recruitment in many regions of the country. It helps strengthen the life of more than 200,000 people around this project. It has helped, of course, to find and create mechanisms for conflict resolution through art. It strengthens the social system and collective memory. It creates knowledge through knowledge. What do we mean about this? Generally, we think that we have to go to school or to university to learn. It's not the case generally. There are people all over our country that can learn from other people's experiences. There's a huge program where this has been a standard and a pillar of our plan, and it has made amazing results all around the country. And of course, it generates local employment. For example, all these music schools today are generating 4,163 jobs that are related to staff, to people who work at the schools, to help with schools. So at this time of the economic reinvention that we have to go through during pandemic, we of course have an important task to go on through. And what are we looking? Of course, we want to extend the importance of this plan all around the world. Our participation in the Paris Peace Forum is, of course, an important possibility for us to find new partners, with which we can share information, to make knowledge exchanges, support for circulation, that we, of course, all have this big problem ahead of us. We have a digital platform which needs to be strengthened, so we're looking for allies in that sector also. Creation of laboratories to approach to technology, and of course, we hope to finally have 100% of our territory covered with this program. I think I got to my final stage, and I would love to hear your questions. If you have the questions, I'm happy to hear them. And of course, while we get the questions, I want to hugely thank our Paris embassy and our ambassador, Ms. Vivian Morales, and our whole team at the music coordination at the Direction of Arts, and of course our team of international affairs at the Ministry of Culture, who have made this possible. I will wait for a couple of seconds while you send me your messages. Okay, we have the first one. What lessons have you learned from this program that you think other government representatives present at the Paris Peace Forum could apply, particularly in post-conflict or fragile context? Okay, that's an important question. The program in Colombia has an important relation with local authorities. This is not only the Ministry of Culture working on its own. Each school has to find a partner, a local partner, the mayor's office, to make it possible for the school to work. The mayor's office would generally provide the contracting of the school teacher that will make it possible for the school to be open. Sometimes the municipality has a space where they can hold the music school. And then the Ministry of Culture comes in with mostly the endowment of instruments and all the rest of the strategy. It's hard work. As you know, as I told you from the start, this plan started in 2003. We are very proud of the results. I mean, when we go to the different regions of a country, all our mayors, everybody wants to get on this bus and assure that this program is alive. I think what would I say? I would say that it takes a lot of work. In the case of Colombia, it takes a lot of work to convince and make sure that the regions help keep building on this strategy and don't let it off ever. And we've been very, very lucky for this to happen. And then there's another part to the question. In post-conflict or fragile contexts. Well, actually, as I was saying at the beginning of the presentation, it has, of course, been very, very important for our country to keep these schools open. We have found that in very fragile communities that have been terribly affected by the conflict in our country, hold on to this array of hope that is music. And music has been, of course, a way to strengthen our relations with people who maybe are on the other side of things, who think differently. And our music schools are places where you find peace, where you find places without conflict, and it's been really, really very important. Then we have another question. Can you say more about how this program fits into Colombia's broader post-conflict and reconciliation efforts following the signature of the peace agreement? This program came before the peace agreement, and it's of course part of the ongoing efforts that we as a country keep thinking of to ensure that Colombians have, in general, a better life. Through the Ministry of Culture, what we do is, of course, guarantee that all Colombians have access to cultural events and they're able to express their cultural expressions freely. We still, of course, need to work on other projects. But as I was saying just before in our presentation, there are other activities that we do through the Ministry of Culture. For example, our schools, our escuelas taller. There are schools that teach people our heritage. We do architectural projects there, projects related to handicrafts, to traditional handicrafts, the construction of musical instruments, and we're organizing to work as a community, as a whole throughout the country, so that this is like a very a virtuous chain reaction that will help to reactivate the sector and to guarantee that people have other opportunities, work opportunities, and leisure opportunities, and cultural opportunities. What outcomes are they seeing long-term for people benefiting from these music schools? Is it affecting socioeconomic outcomes down the line? Well, you see, it's interesting what you're asking. The music schools are not intended for people to come out as professional musicians as a whole. Music schools are intended to be there to offer musical teaching all around the country, because we know that musical teaching gives students and children other possibilities. I mean, it's renowned worldwide that the study of music will give students, for example, better math results, for example. Of course, the being in the school will help the children not being on the streets. And they, of course, have a possibility to undergo their development in a healthier, more protected space. It's affecting mostly the way our children look at life, the way they know they will have other opportunities outside of the little town or their conflict area or the place they live in. Colombia is a very diverse country, hugely diverse. And every region has its own cultural identity. And it's these schools have been as a pillar for thriving on this and identity all around our country. How scalable or replicable do you think this program might be for other similar developing society? I think it's very applicable. And we're, of course, wide open to receive your ideas. We would love this program to be replicated in other countries around the world. And because, sometimes not only to replicate because we're proud of this program, but because we know that when we do these kinds of actions, we learn from other countries. We learn from their experiences, and then we strengthen our own program. So please do contact us, and we would love from the Ministry of Culture to help you in any way we can to make this program part of the standard program you hold in your own country. What are the biggest challenges you faced while executing this program? Well, financial problems are always a big challenge. Colombia is, of course, a developing country. We have found wonderful cooperating countries such as Japan that have not only helped us with our endowment plan for the music sector and the musical plan. Japan has also been very generous with our whole reading program, and they've built tens of libraries all around the country, which has helped, of course, rise our reading levels in Colombia. So we of course would love to have economical support. It's generally because the plan is already organized. We know how it works. We know how to work with the territories. But always, I mean, the financial side of things is always a big stress. I think that it is very beautiful. In Sao Paulo, we have a very similar initiative called Proyecto Guri. Oh, that's great news. We would love to talk to you about it. Okay, they tell me I have only 3 minutes left. I don't know if I'm going to see if I skipped a question. I think I've gone through them all. Okay, there's another question. This must be a very popular program. What are some of the best responses or quotes from children learning music through your schools that inspire you most and keep you going difficult days? You know, that's very true, but I don't have the quotes with me. I am so sorry. I should have thought of that. Actually, we have, this program it has been going for so long. We have now children that started when they were 7 years old, and now they're professionals, and they're actually schools they're teachers of the schools they used to go to. The program the program actually makes your skin shiver. It's really very amazing, and it's heartwarming to see how music builds people around one peaceful place. There's also, of course, I didn't tell you about this, but it's really important. The ministry also has a strategy to build schools that we build with our infrastructure direction. And it's also something that we would love to share with you, because we have 3 schools to build around the country, depending on their geographical situation. So I think that's the end of our presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you all for watching us, and I'm sure this will be on the site so you can look at it over again. Thank you very much to our partners in the Ministry of Culture, in our International Ministry of Relations, and thank you all at the Paris Peace Forum.